Hey YouTube, I'm Tall Nerd, and here we go again. Today we're going to talk about Digimon for a little bit. So if you were around in the late 90s, especially if you were a kid then, like I was, then you probably at least have heard of Digimon. But just in case you haven't, let's go over a few of the details, and maybe you'll even learn something that you didn't know before. In 1996, Bandai released their virtual pet toy Tamagotchi. It was super successful, wildly popular, but Bandai realized that it was far more popular with girls than it was for boys. And they decided that they wanted to fix that. They wanted to make a new virtual pet toy that was tailored more specifically towards little boys. And how would they accomplish that? Simple. By letting you fight your virtual pet against another one. So the next year, in late 1997, Digimon was released to the world. And it was pretty successful. I mean, the franchise is still around today, so yeah, I guess it did its job. Also, quick side note. In mid-1997, there was a one-shot manga called Come On Digimon that was sort of a precursor to the new toy. I did not know that before researching this video, and I think that that's really cool. I mean, you have a manga adaptation for a toy that's not even out yet. That's pretty bold, you gotta admit. So with the success of the Digimon toy, Bandai decided to expand into other forms of media. There was more manga, there were other video games, there was a trading card game, and most importantly for me, in 1999 there was an anime adaptation from this toy and all of this stuff that had come out before it. And mostly I want to talk about the show. I want to talk about the anime because that was what introduced me to Digimon, and that's the thing that I'm most familiar with. The Digimon anime was awesome, especially to a little kid like I was at the time. You know, it's these kids who just get thrown into this crazy parallel world, and all they have are their friends to try to fight against these huge evil abominations. And not just their human friends either, but also the new friends that they make, their Digimon partners. I loved this show. I could not get enough of it. Watched every episode I could, just loved everything about it, and I don't know if I'm the only one, but I definitely feel like I was in the minority on this, where I was one of those people who truly legitimately enjoyed Digimon way more than I liked Pokemon. Now, don't get me wrong, I still love the Pokemon TV show. It's a lot of fun to watch, at least the early episodes that I've actually seen. And again, don't get me wrong, the Pokemon games I've always enjoyed more than Digimon games. And again, Digimon games are fun, Pokemon's just, I mean, it's Pokemon. And now, I have truly opened the can of worms. If you don't know what I mean, that's okay, but I have heard many a time people claim or say that Digimon is just a ripoff of Pokemon. I'm gonna try to stay calm here. I really am. But please don't hold it against me if I fail. Not just me, I'm pretty sure that every Digimon fan out there just, this annoys us to no end because they're not the same. They look the same on the outside, yeah, but really they're just the two most notable franchises in a genre. That's all. Alright, if I'm being honest, I don't really want to talk about this because it will be really, really easy for me to just go off on an angry tangent rant for a long time, and that's not really what I want to do. But I feel like I should at least address some of the big things. I just need to address this somehow, some way. So I'm going to. But only briefly. I don't want to give too much time to this. That's all. So in talking about this, I really just want to touch on two major differences that I feel are really important in distinguishing between the two, and really touching on why I prefer the Digimon anime over the Pokemon anime. Alright, so these two things are the world and the stakes, and I'm going to start with the world. The world of Pokemon is one that is completely alien to our own. It is a different dimension, a different world. I don't care about fan theories that are out there, but it's a world where Pokemon are fully integrated into society. Pokemon work alongside humans, they're pets, they're part of trainers' teams. They do so much for humans all the time, and humans respond by helping, training, feeding, taking care of Pokemon. Not all of them, there's lots of wild ones. But the fact remains that humans and Pokemon always have coexisted in this world, or at least since Pokemon appeared. There's a whole other thing that I'm not going to get into because this is about Digimon! Calm. I'm okay. On the other hand, Digimon takes place largely in the digital world. It's a separate plane of existence from our own. The humans come from the real world, a world just like ours, just like the one that we're living in right this second. And they get sent or dragged or whatever into the digital world, and there they have an adventure. It's a world that they're not familiar with. There's no people. There's not much civilization. They have no idea how to find shelter, how to find food. There are all of these problems that they have to overcome. So it's not just, oh yeah, this is the world that we live in and we're going to go on an adventure in this world. It's, oh crap, we just got dropped into the middle of this place and there's a giant bug that's trying to kill us, and what are these things? What is going on? So that already is a huge difference. I mean, just from the get-go of the two series. And then there are the stakes. You see, no matter how much trainers say that what they do is serious business and it's super important to all the world, at the end of the day, Pokemon training is a sport. It's there to be watched, it's there to be excelled at, it's there to be a form of entertainment. Every Pokemon trainer is a professional athlete, or at the very least a professional trainer to professional athletes, the Pokemon. And yes, on occasion there are natural disasters or villains or just legendary Pokemon that trainers have to stop from wrecking the world. That happens, but by and large, it's a sport. But in Digimon, the stakes are way higher. The only reason that chosen children are selected, or digidestined, whatever you want to call them, the only reason they're there is because there is an imminent threat to the digital world that could potentially spill over into the real world. The stakes couldn't be higher. This is end of the world kind of stuff that's going on, and these children are the only things standing between that evil, whatever it is, and the total destruction. So really, at the end of the day, what I'm trying to get at, I guess, is that Pokemon is a sport. Digimon is basically a war. Now, there are lots and lots of other differences that I could go into between the two series, but I'm not going to. Because really, what I want to talk about is Digimon. I mean, this was one of the key series to my childhood. I loved it. I wanted to have a Digimon, and really, it got me interested in technology. Not the way that science did, not in like, wow, I want to build that. But it just started getting me thinking about, wow, technology does a lot of cool things, and just the very idea of virtual reality. The thought that an entire world could exist within a computer, that was mind-blowing to me as a kid, and I still look forward to the future of VR, the future of, immersive entertainment and immersive digital worlds. Believe it or not, this was not supposed to be a video about the differences between Pokemon and Digimon. I just felt that it was important to not just know the history behind Digimon, or just my feelings about the series, but also to acknowledge the differences. Because I know that it's something that will come up. It's come up before when I've talked to people, so yeah, I felt like it just needed to be addressed. But before I go, as always, it's time for my thing of the day, Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. But not the normal version. See, I love reading. I love books. I go through them super fast sometimes. But I find it really hard oftentimes to get into a lot of the classics. They're just written using very different language than what I'm used to. They're just not something that I can relate to a lot of the times, and I find it hard to get into them. Most of the time I enjoy them when I do get into them, but just getting started is tough for me. That's where this comes in. You see, this is a manga adaptation of Les Miserables. I saw it in my local bookstore, and it just caught my eye, and I thought, well, I mean, I like the movie version of Les Miserables, so why not? I picked it up, and man, it was a lot of fun to read. If you're interested in a new take on an old classic, I highly suggest you pick up this manga version of Les Miserables. And hey, that is going to be all for this video. Thanks for sticking around as always, and as always, have a great day.